Let the battle begin. Hello and welcome my artsy friend. In today's video we are going to take part to an epic fight between two brands of acrylic paint. It's my cheap versus expensive series, and today contestants are on the cheap side. We have Benici. I bought this set on Amazon nearly a year ago and I paid £13 for a set of 24. They also came with 12 brushes, with a sponge and with a palette knife, bringing each tube paint at a cost of less than 50 cents. If you count also all the items, probably just 30-40 cents for one tube paint. But then we have our expensive contestants, and today we have golden acrylic paint. I bought this as a sample pack set. They cost me £23 something. It's been me since a couple of months and we will see how it behaves. But should you want to buy a single tube of paint, I've been scrolling through Amazon all morning and the prices for a classic acrylic golden paint is between 10 to 17 and plus pounds. So for tube, that's quite expensive. And today we are going to do two painting, the cheap versus the expensive. We will analyze the pro, the cons, and if it's worth the money or not. Let's begin. I decided to start with the cheap side, Benici side. And what I create here are two sketches of very funny looking cat. I was inspired by their expression, so I decided to do two cats. And the first thing that you can notice about Benici set is that basically has every color you can imagine, which makes your life so much easier when you are a beginner or you are not much into mixing, like sometimes I am. So I can just grab the paint straight from the tube because I have so many different gradients of color and I don't really mix. This is basically the only mix that I did for the skin. I wanted a brownish gray sort of color, but the first layer was a bit too dark for my taste, so I went then on top of it, lighten it up. And yeah, so I just basically put in the base color here and then I'm going to do all the gradients. So don't worry about if it looks absolutely nasty at this point. This is just the process of creation. But what do I think about using this paint? What was the feeling? Well, the feeling is that I was sort of pulling the paint. I don't know how to really explain, but it was very gummy. As I said, I had this paint for 1 year when that was the time that I really decided to commit to art and do it, practice full time, and I started by collecting some cheap art supplies. And I don't remember I had this feeling when I bought it. Now I know acrylic paint don't last forever, but I have acrylic paint for 10 years and they still look great and they are not expensive paint as well. Instead, this one in less than 1 year it turned to be super gummy, super sticky, and the paint doesn't really flow on the paper. So I did manage to do everything I wanted. I got the mixing done, I got the color that I wanted, and I like the final result that you will see in the end. But it was a bit of a struggle in pulling. Yes, it is already time for our second contestant, golden acrylic. And here I start to basically trying to use the same technique than in the previous cut, preparing all my surface, putting down the color that I want to have as a base, and then work on my mix on top. But as you can notice, my stash of golden paint is much thinner than my Benici stash. I have many few color, and because this is a simple pack, I didn't get to choose the color, which means I am missing some essential, and that was clear from almost the beginning. While I paint already in the past with this paint, but I didn't do anything too realistic, which means I could play with the color. Today was the first time I was really faced with a realistic paint, and I immediately realized that I didn't have a pure red, and I didn't have a pure black. I didn't have a green, but that was okay. I had the color to mix it. But not having a pure red, it created a serious struggle, especially in this cut where the tongue was out, the mouth was out. I needed that red. Well, I didn't have it, so I had to do a lot of mixing, which means this painting took a little bit longer because I really wanted to get it done properly. I love the sketch that I did, but this is a problem of colors, and I could go there and buy the color that I have, that I need. But what's the feeling, what's the experience behind using golden acrylic? Well, the first thing I notice is that the paint flow. Doesn't matter which type of paint I'm using, I have a different type of paint. They all flow so much easily on the paper compared to the previous one. I don't feel the struggle. I don't feel like I have to pull the paint on the paper. It's just going so well. It's a good experience, and I feel like there is also a bigger vibrancy of color compared to the previous one. You will be able to judge yourself in just a minute or two. I don't honestly have much more to say. I think the biggest pro and con is the feeling of sliding the paint on the paper. For the rest, it's a color selection. For mixing, they both great, but in the previous case, I didn't have to mix so much because I had so much paint at such a little cost. So I think if you work very quickly with your paint and you go through a lot and you are a beginner, the first paint could be also a good experience, but it doesn't last too long over time, just a few months, and you already change its structure. And instead, if you just commit to a few good quality paint, it can last you for a very long time, and the experience can be very pleasant. Anyway, I will see you in a little bit with the final result. I just want to mention that the mustache, in both cases, I used the white gel pen to do it, and in the previous case, I also used the white gel pen for the eyes. Not in this case. See you in a bit. And here, the final result of today's battles. Let's start with our number one contestant, Benici. This is what we end up with. A funny, cute cat. And then from the other side we have golden, and we have this other like crazy little cat. Okay, it's your turn to decide. Vote in the comment who is the winner of today's battle. Benici, golden. Personal choice, I go for golden acrylic. But let me know what you think down in the comment. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been an epic battle today. I had so much fun, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.